Chapter 1. The Weight of Memories. The sun had long since set on the small town of Willow Creek, casting a warm orange glow over the quiet streets. In his cozy little bungalow, Harold sat alone in his favorite armchair, surrounded by the memories of a lifetime with his beloved wife, Margaret. The scent of fresh-baked cookies wafted through the air, transported from happier times. 73 years young, Harold's eyes still sparkled with the love they once shared. His gray hair was thinning, but his heart remained heavy with grief. It had been 3 long years since Margaret left him. Her gentle touch and loving smile silenced forever. The ache within him refused to subside, as if the very fibers of his being were tied to hers. Harold's thoughts drifted back to that fateful day. He remembered the way Margaret's eyes crinkled at the corners when she smiled, the way her laughter sounded like music. Her passing had left a gaping hole in his life, a void he struggled to fill. Even the simplest tasks, preparing dinner, taking a walk, now felt empty and hollow. As he sat there, lost in thought, Harold's gaze fell upon a photograph on the coffee table. Margaret, radiant and young, her arm wrapped around his waist as they stood on the beach, holding hands. He had held on to this moment for so long, cherishing every detail. But now, it only served as a painful reminder of what he'd lost. The doorbell rang, shattering the silence. Harold's heart skipped a beat as he rose to answer it, wondering who could be visiting at such an hour. As he opened the door, a warm smile greeted him, a stranger, yet somehow familiar. "Hi, I'm Sophia," she said, her eyes sparkling with kindness. "I'm your neighbor from across the way. I brought over some fresh-baked cookies and wanted to introduce myself." Harold's eyes narrowed slightly as he took in Sophia's appearance. Curly brown hair, a sprinkle of freckles across her nose, and skin that seemed to glow in the fading light. Her gentle manner put him at ease, however, and he invited her in. As they sat down together, Sophia's presence was like a ray of sunshine on Harold's grief-worn heart. For the first time in years, he felt the weight of his memories begin to lift, ever so slightly. Perhaps this chance encounter would mark the start of his journey toward healing, and maybe even love again. But for now, Harold simply enjoyed Sophia's warm company, savoring the comfort she brought as they shared stories and laughter into the night. Little did he know that their unlikely bond was only just beginning to take shape, one that would lead him down a path of rediscovery and new beginnings. Chapter 2. The Gentle Art of Connection. As Sophia left Harold's bungalow, the cookies they'd shared still warm on their plates, she couldn't help but feel a sense of connection to this kind-hearted stranger. There was something about Harold that drew her in, like a gentle magnetism. Over the next few days, Sophia made it a point to visit Harold regularly, sharing stories and laughter as they explored the town together. They strolled along the riverwalk and watched the sunset over the hills and even attended a local music performance. With each encounter, Sophia noticed how Harold's eyes sparkled when she spoke of her passion for photography or her love for old movies. In turn, Harold was struck by Sophia's empathetic nature, the way she listened with an open heart and understanding ears. She asked thoughtful questions about his life with Margaret, and he found himself opening up in ways he hadn't expected. The weight of his grief didn't disappear, but it no longer felt like a crushing burden. One afternoon, as they sat on Harold's porch, sipping lemonade and watching the clouds drift lazily by, Sophia asked him about his favorite memories with Margaret. Harold's eyes misted as he began to share stories of their early years together, the way they'd dance under the stars, the laughter that filled their home. Sophia listened intently, her heart beating in time with Harold's words. As he spoke, she noticed the way his voice cracked ever so slightly, the subtle tremble of his lips. Without thinking, she reached out and gently took his hand, offering a reassuring squeeze. The touch was like a spark of electricity, awakening something deep within Harold. He felt the sting of tears, but this time they weren't solely born of sadness. A glimmer of hope emerged, a sense that perhaps he wasn't alone in his grief, that Sophia might be the catalyst for healing and new beginnings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the porch in a warm golden light, Harold smiled, a genuine smile, free from the weight of memories. Sophia's hand still cradled his, their connection palpable as they basked in the quiet companionship of this special moment. In that instant, Harold realized that Sophia had become more than just a neighbor or a friend. She was an anchor, holding him fast against the tides of grief and loss. And as he looked into her compassionate eyes, he felt the stirrings of something new. A love that wasn't about replacing Margaret, but complementing his memories with a fresh chapter in life. The stars began to twinkle overhead like diamonds scattered across the night sky. Harold's heart swelled with gratitude for Sophia, this gentle stranger who had brought light into the darkness. Little did he know that their bond was only just beginning to unfurl, like a rose blooming in the warmth of their connection. Chapter 3. The Language of Love. As the days turned into weeks, Sophia and Harold's friendship blossomed. They explored Willow Creek together, sharing laughter and stories that wove a tapestry of memories. Harold found himself looking forward to their daily encounters, his heart slowly opening to the possibility of love again. One morning, as they strolled through the local farmer's market, Sophia turned to Harold with a mischievous glint in her eye. "I have an idea," she said, her voice low and conspiratorial. "Why don't we plan a surprise party for your birthday? You deserve some celebration after all you've been through." Harold was taken aback by the suggestion, but Sophia's enthusiasm was infectious. Together, they began making plans, involving their friends from around town. As the big day approached, Harold couldn't help but feel a mix of emotions: excitement, gratitude, and a dash of nervousness. On his birthday morning, Harold woke to find the living room transformed into a whimsical wonderland. Balloons floated above the furniture, and a banner reading "Happy 74th Birthday" stretched across the ceiling. Sophia stood by the door, a radiant smile on her face, as Harold's eyes widened in surprise. The party was a resounding success, with friends and neighbors gathering to celebrate Harold's life. As they shared stories and laughter, Sophia slipped away for a moment, returning with a small gift box in her hand. "For you," she said, her voice husky with emotion. Inside the box lay a beautiful silver locket, adorned with a delicate inscription: "Love after loss is possible." Harold's eyes misted as he opened it, his heart overflowing with gratitude for Sophia and the love they had found. As the party wound down, Sophia took Harold's hand once more, leading him outside into the warm evening air. They strolled beneath the stars, the night filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. It was then that Harold realized he had fallen deeply in love with this compassionate stranger, not as a replacement for Margaret, but as a complement to her memories. Sophia's eyes sparkled like diamonds in the moonlight, and Harold knew in that moment that he wanted to spend the rest of his life making more memories with her. The stars above seemed to align, guiding them toward a future filled with love, laughter, and adventure. As they walked hand in hand, the night air whispered secrets only known to those who had found their way through grief and loss. That love was possible, even after the darkest of times, and that sometimes it takes a gentle stranger to awaken our hearts. Chapter 4. The Language of the Heart. As the days turned into weeks, Sophia and Harold's love continued to blossom. They spent their days exploring Willow Creek, hand in hand, laughing and talking about their dreams and aspirations. Harold felt alive again, his heart filled with a sense of purpose and joy. One afternoon, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Sophia turned to Harold with a curious expression. "I have something I want to share with you," she said, her voice low and thoughtful. "A piece of my art that I think speaks to our story." Harold's eyes lit up with interest as Sophia pulled out a small sketchbook from her bag. She flipped through the pages, showing him various drawings of sunsets, flowers, and trees. Then she came to a page filled with delicate sketches of birds, their wings spread wide in flight. "This is my favorite piece," Sophia said, her eyes shining with emotion. "I drew it during a difficult time in my life. It reminds me that even when we feel lost or alone, there's always hope and freedom on the horizon." Harold felt his heart swell with love for this gentle stranger who had shared so much of herself with him. He reached out, taking Sophia's hand in his own. "I think it's beautiful," he said, his voice filled with sincerity. "Just like our story, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always a chance for new beginnings and freedom." Sophia smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "I'm glad you see it that way," she said, "because I think our love is like those birds on the page, free to soar, wild and beautiful." Harold felt his heart take flight as Sophia's words washed over him. He knew in that moment that he wanted to spend the rest of his life exploring the depths of their love, creating a future filled with laughter, adventure, and art. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in a warm golden light, Harold turned to Sophia, his eyes shining with devotion. "I think our story is just beginning," he said, his voice filled with conviction. "And I want to spend the rest of my life making memories with you, hand in hand, heart to heart." Sophia's smile grew wider as she leaned into him, their lips meeting in a soft, sweet kiss that left them both breathless. The stars above twinkled like diamonds on velvet, guiding them toward a future filled with love, laughter, and adventure. For Sophia and Harold, the language of the heart had spoken loud and clear, that their love was the greatest artistry of all, and they were just beginning to create its masterpiece. Chapter 5. The Art of Living. As the days turned into weeks, Sophia and Harold's love continued to flourish. They spent their days exploring Willow Creek, holding hands and laughing together. Harold felt alive again, his heart filled with a sense of purpose and joy. One morning, as they sat on the porch watching the sunrise, Sophia turned to Harold with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking about our future," she said, her voice low and contemplative. "What do you think would be the perfect way for us to spend our days together?" Harold's eyes lit up with excitement as he thought about all the possibilities. "Well, I think it would be wonderful if we could find a way to combine our passions, your art and my love of storytelling," he said. Sophia's face lit up with enthusiasm. "I've been thinking the same thing," she exclaimed. "Imagine us creating art together, exploring the world, and sharing our stories with others." Harold's heart swelled with excitement as Sophia's eyes sparkled with creativity. He knew that their love was the perfect canvas for a beautiful life, and he couldn't wait to see what masterpieces they would create together. As the days turned into weeks, Sophia and Harold began to make plans for their future. They started by setting up an art studio in Harold's bungalow, where they could work on their projects and share them with the world. They also began to explore Willow Creek, taking long walks, having picnics, and attending local art events. One afternoon, as they were walking through the town square, Sophia turned to Harold with a mischievous glint in her eye. "I have an idea," she said. "Let's start a community art project, something that will bring people together and make our town even more beautiful." Harold's eyes lit up with excitement as he thought about all the possibilities. "That sounds like an amazing idea," he exclaimed. Together, they came up with a plan to create a large-scale mural on the side of a building in the town square. They would enlist the help of their friends and neighbors, and it would become a symbol of hope and community for the entire town. As they worked on the project, Sophia and Harold found that their love was not only bringing them closer together, but also inspiring others to come together and create something beautiful. The mural became a sensation in Willow Creek, with people from all walks of life coming to admire it and share their own stories and art. Sophia and Harold's love had become the foundation for a community that was thriving because of its beauty and creativity. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could create anything they set their minds to. A masterpiece that would be remembered for generations to come. The story of Sophia and Harold came full circle, from the darkness of grief and loss to the light of love and artistry. Theirs was a tale of two souls who found each other and created something truly special, a masterpiece that would be remembered for years to come. Chapter 6. The Language of Legacy. As the months passed, Sophia and Harold's love continued to flourish. They had become an integral part of the Willow Creek community, with their art studio and mural project bringing people together from all walks of life. One day, as they were sitting on their porch, watching the sun set over the town, Harold turned to Sophia with a thoughtful expression. "You know, I've been thinking about my legacy," he said, his voice low and contemplative. "What do you think would be the most meaningful way for me to leave a mark on this world?" Sophia's eyes sparkled with creativity as she thought about all the possibilities. "I think it would be wonderful if you could create a lasting impact on our community," she said. "Something that would inspire future generations and keep your memory alive." Harold's face lit up with excitement as he thought about all the ways they could make that happen. "I have an idea," he exclaimed. "Let's start a scholarship program for local students who are passionate about art, music, or storytelling. It would be a way to honor my legacy and give back to the community that has given us so much." Sophia's eyes shone with tears as she thought about the impact such a program could have. "That's an amazing idea," she said. "I can already imagine the kind of students who would apply for these scholarships, bright, creative young people who are eager to make their mark on the world." Together, they began working on the scholarship program, using their art studio as the hub for the initiative. They established a foundation in Harold's name, with Sophia as the chairperson, and set out to raise funds and awareness for the program. As the months passed, the scholarship program took off, attracting applications from talented students from all over the country. The selection process was rigorous, but the end result was well worth it. A group of young people who were not only talented in their respective fields, but also passionate about using their talents to make a positive impact on the world. Sophia and Harold's love had created something truly special, a lasting legacy that would continue to inspire generations to come. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could create anything they set their minds to, a masterpiece that would be remembered for years to come. The story of Sophia and Harold came full circle, from the darkness of grief and loss to the light of love and legacy. Theirs was a tale of two souls who found each other and created something truly special, a masterpiece that would be remembered for generations to come. Chapter 7, The Language of Legacy, continued. As the years went by, Sophia and Harold's love continued to flourish. They spent their days creating art, telling stories, and inspiring others through their scholarship program. One day, as they were sitting on their porch watching the sun set over the town, Harold turned to Sophia with a thoughtful expression. "You know, I've been thinking about my legacy again," he said, his voice low and contemplative. "I want to make sure that our story is told for generations to come." Sophia's eyes sparkled with creativity as she thought about all the possibilities. "I think we should write a book together," she said. "A memoir about our love, our art, and our journey. It would be a way to share our story with the world and leave a lasting legacy for future generations." Harold's face lit up with excitement as he considered the idea. "That's a wonderful idea," he exclaimed. "We could call it The Language of Legacy. It would be a book that inspires others to create their own legacies, just as we have done." Together, Sophia and Harold began working on their memoir. They spent hours talking about their lives, their loves, and their losses. They shared stories about their art studio, their scholarship program, and the countless people they had touched along the way. As they wrote, Sophia and Harold realized that their story was not just a personal tale of love and loss, but also a testament to the power of legacy. They knew that by sharing their story with the world, they would be inspiring others to do the same, to leave their own mark on the world and create a lasting impact. The book, The Language of Legacy, was published to great acclaim. It became a bestseller, with readers from all over the world praising Sophia and Harold's honesty, vulnerability, and inspiration. The book went on to win numerous awards, including the prestigious National Book Award. Sophia and Harold's love had created something truly special, a legacy that would continue to inspire generations to come. They knew that as long as their story was told, their love would never be forgotten. Epilogue. Sophia and Harold passed away peacefully in each other's arms, surrounded by the art studio they had built together. Their legacy lived on through the countless people they had inspired, the scholarship program they had established, and the book that had become a classic of its time. Their story was one of love, loss, and legacy, a reminder to all of us that our lives are not just our own, but also a part of something much greater. Chapter 8. The Legacy Lives On. Years after Sophia and Harold's passing, their art studio remained a beloved landmark in Willow Creek. The town had grown and changed, but the studio remained a constant reminder of the power of love and legacy. One day, a young artist named Lily walked into the studio, searching for inspiration. As she explored the space, she stumbled upon Sophia and Harold's book, The Language of Legacy. She opened it to a random page and was struck by the beauty of their story. Lily spent hours reading the book, mesmerized by the love and passion that had flowed between Sophia and Harold. She felt a deep connection to their story, as if she had known them personally. As she finished the book, Lily felt a surge of creativity flow through her. She began sketching and painting, letting the emotions of Sophia and Harold's story guide her brushstrokes. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Lily became a regular at the art studio, returning again and again to draw inspiration from Sophia and Harold's legacy. The town of Willow Creek took notice of Lily's talent and passion. They began to call her the Heir of Love, as if she were the direct descendant of Sophia and Harold's creative spirit. Lily's art became a testament to the enduring power of love and legacy. She continued to create, inspired by the stories and memories of Sophia and Harold. Years went by, and Lily grew old, but her art remained a constant reminder of the power of love and legacy. The art studio became a museum dedicated to the life and work of Sophia and Harold. The town of Willow Creek came together to celebrate their legacies. They held exhibitions and events, honoring the couple's memory and celebrating their enduring impact on the community. As the years passed, Lily's own children grew up, inspired by her stories and art. They became artists themselves, carrying on the legacy of Sophia and Harold in their own unique way. The story of Sophia and Harold came full circle, from loss to love to legacy. Their love had created a ripple effect, touching generations to come. Chapter 9: The Heir of Love. Lily's children, Emma and Max, grew up surrounded by the art studio and the stories of Sophia and Harold. They spent hours listening to Lily's tales of their love, creativity, and legacy. As they grew older, Emma and Max began to feel a deep connection to the couple's story. They started to help Lily with her art, assisting with exhibitions and events that celebrated Sophia and Harold's life. Emma, in particular, felt drawn to the studio's creative energy. She spent hours sketching and painting, experimenting with different techniques and mediums. Her art was inspired by Sophia and Harold's love, as well as their stories of loss and resilience. Max, on the other hand, was more interested in the business side of things. He helped Lily with administrative tasks, managing the studio's finances and scheduling events. His organizational skills were invaluable to the studio, allowing it to run smoothly while Lily focused on her art. As Emma and Max grew into their roles, they began to develop their own unique styles. Emma's art became more introspective, exploring themes of love, loss, and identity. Max's business acumen helped the studio thrive, attracting new audiences and generating revenue. Lily watched with pride as her children blossomed into talented artists in their own right. She knew that Sophia and Harold would be pleased to see their legacy living on through Emma and Max. One day, a local art critic approached Lily about featuring the studio's work in an upcoming exhibition. Lily was hesitant at first, but Emma and Max encouraged her to take the opportunity. They worked together to curate a stunning display of their art, showcasing their unique styles and themes. The exhibition was a huge success, attracting visitors from all over the city. Critics praised the quality of the artwork, noting the clear influence of Sophia and Harold's legacy. The studio's reputation grew, solidifying its place as a hub for artistic innovation and creativity. As the years passed, Emma and Max continued to excel in their respective fields. They became known throughout the art world as the Heirs of Love, carrying on the creative torch lit by Sophia and Harold. The story of Sophia and Harold came full circle once again, from loss to love to legacy. Their love had created a ripple effect that touched not only their own children, but also future generations, inspiring countless artists, writers, and creatives to follow in their footsteps. Chapter 10: The Legacy Lives On Forever. As Emma and Max continued to create and inspire others, they began to realize that Sophia and Harold's legacy was not just about the art they had created or the stories they had told. It was about the impact they had on those around them. The studio became a beacon of hope and creativity for countless individuals who had been touched by Sophia and Harold's love story. People from all walks of life came to visit, seeking inspiration and guidance. Emma and Max knew that it was time to take their roles as caretakers of the studio to the next level. They decided to establish a foundation in Sophia and Harold's name, dedicated to supporting emerging artists and spreading the message of love, loss, and legacy. The foundation quickly gained momentum, with Emma and Max at the helm. They worked tirelessly to create programs, events, and exhibitions that celebrated the artistry and creativity of others. Years went by, and the foundation flourished. It became a respected institution in the art world, known for its innovative approach to supporting emerging talent. The studio itself remained a beloved landmark in Willow Creek, a testament to the enduring power of love and legacy. One day, as Emma was walking through the studio, she stumbled upon an old photograph of Sophia and Harold. She looked at it with tears in her eyes, remembering the countless hours they had spent together, creating art and telling stories. In that moment, Emma realized that Sophia and Harold's legacy was not just about their art or their love story. It was about the ripple effect they had created, a chain reaction of kindness, compassion, and creativity that would continue to spread for generations to come. As she looked at the photograph, Emma knew that her own children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren would carry on the legacy in their own unique way. They would create art, tell stories, and inspire others to do the same. The story of Sophia and Harold came full circle once again. From loss to love to legacy, their love had created a ripple effect that touched countless hearts and minds, inspiring generations to come. And so the legacy of Sophia and Harold lived on forever, a shining beacon of hope and creativity that would continue to inspire others for as long as art and stories were cherished.